I love to bake. And so for baking, I prefer to use fresh wheat and then make that into flour and use that for my baking rather than using flour off of a shelf from a store when you don't know how long that flour has been sitting there. It could have been days, weeks, or even months. And I find that using fresh flour just helps to give your baked goods an extra little kick, and it just tastes so good being fresh. But before we get started, hello, my name is Lynn and welcome to my channel. And before we get started with processing the wheat into flour with my KitchenAid mixer, first I'd like to give you a little bit of information and history on wheat. There are 6 types or classes of wheat grown in the United States. These include hard red winter, hard red spring, soft red winter, hard white, soft white, and durum. Hard wheats are high protein wheats, typically between 10 to 14% protein. The higher the amount of protein, the more gluten the flour can form. So the more gluten means the stronger the flour. This is better for strong doughs like bread, which need a robust gluten network. Soft wheats have a larger percentage of carbohydrates and less proteins than hard wheats. These flours are better for baked goods, where a more delicate crumb is desired. Wheat is a member of the grass family that produces a dry one-seeded fruit commonly called a kernel. More than 17,000 years ago, humans gathered the seeds of plants and ate them. After rubbing off the husks, early people simply chewed the kernels raw, parched, or simmered. Wheat originated in the cradle of civilization in the Tigris and Euphrates River Valley near what is now Iraq. These grains were einkorn, emmer, and spelt. Milling wheat for flour only became common in the 12th century, but by the turn of the 19th century, wheat was the United Kingdom's most significant crop grown for human consumption. Wheat was first planted in the United States in 1777 as a hobby crop. In the year 1850, the United States per capita wheat flour consumption reached 205 pounds, up from 170 pounds in 1830. Wheat is the primary grain used in the United States. Grain products, approximately 3/4 of all U.S. grain products, are made from wheat flour. So when milling wheat into flour, not only is it fresh, but also the germ is still there, and that's where the flavor is. And so that's why I highly recommend, if you can, milling your own flour, because it is just so much more flavorful when you make your baked goods. The one thing I would also recommend is if you are interested in buying wheat and milling it yourself, I will have links below in the description on where to purchase your own wheat. But then I recommend either putting it in the fridge or the freezer until you are ready to mill your wheat into flour. And for today, I am going to be using a hard red spring wheat. After you have attached the mill to your KitchenAid mixer, next you want to select if you want a fine grind, which is the smaller symbol, or a coarse grind, which is this larger symbol. To give an example, this will turn. Right now I'm going counterclockwise, and this is selecting if I want a more coarser grind. As I continue, if I want a finer grind, then I will continue moving it clockwise, and you'll see this notch right here telling me when I'm at the finest grind possible. And so from here, I'm going to scoop up however much wheat I need for today, and then I'm going to pour it in. And as you can see, this hard red spring wheat has kind of a red tint to it. And now that I've measured out how much wheat I need, I'm going to turn on my machine, and then my flour is going to come out from underneath. So for today's recipe, where I'm going to be making some homemade bread, I need a little over 3 cups of flour. So I'm going to be at this for a while. Thank you for checking out my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video and would like to watch more of my videos, please follow the links on the side of the page. Please select thumbs up that you like the video. It helps with the algorithm. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. And please click subscribe and ring that bell to be updated when new videos come out.